welcome back to the Hooligan Hangout, your favorite place to be. This week we're going to review The Last of Us. All right.
TV show.
Thank you. That was the Hooligan Hangout, and we'll see you next time.
It was cool. All right, later.
Yeah, it was a show. All right, we're out.
It was the show of all time.
So those of you who don't know, The Last of Us just came out on HBO. It's based on a video game that me and Noah have played, and Edward has not. So me and Noah are going to compare it to the game, and Edward's just going to review it as a show because he's never. Yeah,
we're going to compare it as neutral and quick as we can.
But I played the game in real time as the show, so I just stop at the end of where every episode stops.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
That would be cool.
Makes sense.
You'd have to play a lot, though.
If it helps you feel better, Edward, the first episode covers like 4 hours, 3-4 hours.
Never mind.
Which is kind of crazy, but that's where some problems arise. I'll be fair at that. I'll be fair.
It's crazy to me because even though an hour of the show covers like 4 hours of the game, I still feel like for the most part it captured everything it needed to out of the 4 hours from the game. You know what I mean?
I agree, 100%.
I think it did that wonderfully.
Shows you how much fluff and bullshit they add in video games to get you to buy them.
It's called gameplay, Edward.
How dare they give me my money's worth for an $80 video game?
How dare they give you a game to play instead of just cutscenes?
I know, right? God, if I'm paying $70, I just want to be able to watch all the cutscenes immediately.
Actually, this was when they were $60. And it was worth the price? No. But anyways, this first episode covers quite a bit, actually. But here's a little synopsis. So 20 years after a fungal outbreak ravages the planet, survivors Joel and Tess are tasked with a mission that could change everything. That doesn't include the intro. This episode was directed by Craig Mazin, which is the main showrunner, starring Nico Parker, Pedro Pascal, Gabriel Luna, and Bella Ramsey. So, what did y'all think of the first episode of The Last of Us? And by the way, we're not doing episode by episode. We are just doing episode 1, and then once the season ends, we're going to do the whole season as a whole.
Yeah.
You go first, Edward, because you never played the game. So I want to know from a genuine, unbiased consensus. What you think? You can do whatever.
Really good. Like the intro was probably like one of the most like heartbreaking starts to a story I did
ever. That's true.
Yes, exactly.
It started like a Disney movie where they kill off your favorite character just to fuck with your heartstrings and make you sad for the rest of the movie.
Let's go non-spoiler, and then we can talk about the game and the spoiler.
How about we just go spoilers? Because who's clicking on The Last of Us?
Actually, yes, that's fair. Yeah, you know what? That's very fair. That's fair. All spoilers.
So in the game, the opening scene, you don't know that Sarah's kind of not the main character because that's who you play as in the beginning. Like that's who you are, and then she gets killed. So
But what I liked about what the show did too with Sarah is they 100% made her feel like the main character from the get-go.
They followed her around. They did everything.
And even though it wasn't that long, it was like 20 minutes with her, it was still heartbreaking.
Yeah, I knew that she had to go away because I know she wasn't like a part of the game. That's like all I knew. But I figured they'd just be like separated and the plot would be him just trying to get to her and he picks up this random stray. But no, that bitch straight up got capped, dude.
Yeah.
You really thought she was going to survive, huh?
And for no reason.
Time, I was also like, damn, Joel kind of a bitch. He could have eaten those bullets for him.
Well, he tried.
He tried.
Well, he dove.
Yeah, he should have just, turned around.
You also knew he wasn't going to die because he was the main character off of the posters and stuff.
That scene is like, it represents the start of like everyone's bad kind of, because that was like, those are the military that's supposed to protect you, and even then they're already day one of the outbreak, they're already killing innocent people that might possibly be infected.
Not
But it's
only
like,
that,
what's
but
going on, there's no cops, there's no safety. You know what I mean? Like everyone, it's to fend for yourself, really.
not only that, but you see early glimpses of like people that actually survive and people that die. Like when they were driving in the truck to town,
Yeah.
and Joel, they saw a family, and the family was asking them for help, and he was like, "Nah, man, just keep driving. Like,
Yeah.
don't worry about them."
TBH, I would have done the same thing. Be like, nah, fuck them.
Honestly, me too, though.
You
I
have
wanna
to,
say-
dog.
One
You
thing
stop
that
and
I
help them,
loved-
and you're just fucking toast.
That's how you
one thing
survive.
I loved, just a small thing that wasn't in the game, is when they were trying to get out. They're in like the little downtown area, and they look up and they see all those planes coming in.
Dude.
That was
That's
crazy.
fucking nutty, dude.
Also, whenever the truck crashes in the game, that first truck that like almost hit them, it actually hits them in the game. And that's how they knock out.
That's it.
So I love how it faked us out
Right.
because we like it.
I know
Yeah,
it's
I
gonna-
was like, oh shoot, yeah. It's actually the plane that crashed.
One quarrel I had with the intro is that they split up because a plane crashes and gets between them, right?
Mhm.
But the camera pans and you can see the end of the plane crash, and it's like 10 steps backwards. Like you can just go around it, but he just doesn't. It's like, I'll go my own way. Y'all have fun. I was like, bro, why? What the fuck is? You could just walk right there.
Yeah.
This is like a not really a gripe, I just kind of think it's funny too. Is it also whenever they're running after the car broke down and that one infected is running after him, and like that one infected, all he had to do was run straight, bro, and he just kept hitting everything that he could have.
To be fair, I could excuse it because they're dumbass zombies.
I thought it was funny. They're not zombies, bro. They're cordyceps.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
Never say that again. That's offensive.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and they
make
have-
you a zombie if you say that shit one more time.
They have the tendrils coming out of their mouth. That's insane.
Which I
That
actually
shit was
kind of
gross as
I
fuck.
thought that was hair until Alex said something.
nah, bro. It's not freaking hair.
That like made my insides tingle. I was like, what the fuck?
Before we move on off of this, I also wanted to bring up the actual intro before like the intro animation title screen. That was actually kind of unnerving, trying to bring it into the real world, like trying to explain all like how
Oh,
like
yeah.
fungus
The
and
intro to the
bacteria could
intro?
infect people.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that little talk show. That
Yeah.
was a little scary. Not gonna
I
lie.
I
like
thought that was
it.
really good at setting the tone because everything after that felt really like menacing.
Especially-
Even like just normal shit, I was like, all right, when's the bad thing gonna happen? When's the bad thing gonna happen?
Because it set it up to the point where it's like the guy on the TV show said, well, what happens in that case? And he goes, in that case, we lose. Like the human race loses. And
He's
then
like, we
that's the
die.
thing for the rest of the movie is like they lost. Like humans
Humanity lost.
lost. Yeah.
TBH, if I was there,
It's creepy.
I would have prevented the whole thing.
Yeah, that is fair. I know you would have. It would have been so cool.
Yep.
You
Would have
you
been hailed
you would
as
have
a world hero.
you would have said, "We're not gonna be the last of us."
Oh my god. I'm waiting for them to say the thing. They didn't say it in the first episode, but I'm waiting for them to say it in the
They're
last one.
not going to.
They're going to say it in the fucking last one. Watch.
They never say it.
They're going to say it. They're going to fucking say it.
Honestly, I hope they don't.
Off of general consensus, what do y'all think the episode did good?
What?
Off a general basis, what do you think the episode did good?
Just I think setting up the theme of like the rest of the show. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
The Last of Us, the game, it's very dark, kind of, especially the second one, but even the first one, just like very dark and like I said, fend for yourself, and you know everyone's out to get you, and it's like hard to survive. They really set that whole thing up, I think.
Like the tone of it?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah, I agree.
You did a really good job of what the fuck, I lost it.
Anyways,
Of setting a really unnerving like tone Like,
Right.
there's a lot of like just zombie movies where you'd be like, they're just fucking apocalypse going on. But they did a really good job of making you like feel the intensity and like the like the heart
It put
pounding
you
moments.
in the middle of it too. It made it feel like you were there. Like, you know, you were.
I think another cool part is that there were times where I was able to be like, this shot was from the video game, just the way that it like panned down, or it would like follow the characters like a certain way. Be like,
Right.
this is a video game shot, and then I just like went to look over it, and I was like, oh yep, that was directly from the game. Nice.
The shot in the truck driving was literally like directly from the game. And
Oh
that
yeah,
whole
I saw
scene was,
that,
like,
and I was like, yep,
100%
video game
the same.
moment.
video game moment. It
I was
was
like,
still
damn, they
cool,
really
though.
put us in first person.
What the show does really good is how much, even though some of it's kind of word for word and scene by scene from the game, which is cool. And, you know, but I mean, it's good to have a little expand on that. They did a really good job at expanding certain like minor details and lore
Right. I agree with that.
away from the game. And I think this show is a great way to expand on it, like just to expand more common knowledge for the game and learn more about the world.
For the 5 people in the world that haven't played the game, what details did they add in there that weren't in it?
Well, for
Asking
one,
for a friend, not myself. Of course, I played the game. I'm not an uncultured swine or anything.
For one, the game starts off, like you said, you play as Sarah, and it starts off after Joel leaves the house at night. Like when Sarah's alone. That's when the game starts.
So you don't get any of the stuff that happened that day?
Right.
Yeah, like
you also don't know why he's gone. You know?
yeah, you don't know why he's gone. It just throws you right into the action. And so, like, when she went to get his watch, that was so cool because you don't see when she gets the watch before that night. You also,
too.
yeah, you also, this is when the show comes in and they have a good way of creating a lot of tension, is that whole scene when she went to the neighbor's house. Yes, that didn't happen at all. And so that sets up the scene with the grandma, and that brings up a lot of tension, which was pretty cool. I think it's about it. Of course, the first intro scene at the very, very beginning wasn't in the game, but just stuff like that. I feel like after the intro, though, it was pretty much similar.
Well, that's crazy too, because the way that game started means you don't get like a whole lot of insight into like the relationship between Joel and Sarah, which means like even though like you felt the death, it didn't feel like super important then.
Yes, but it was still fucking sad.
Yeah, I saw that. It was like, they can't kill a kid on TV.
Well, it's because you played as her, and then you also played as Joel, and your job was like to protect her. So you were still like, you know,
you could feel for both of them.
Bro, the moment I saw that old lady, like for the first time, I was like, hell nah, this bitch giving me the creeps. I don't like the way she looks. And I was right.
You're giving me the heebie-jeebies.
She was giving me the heebie-jeebies. Word for word, exactly what I said.
Little tendrils coming out. Which, I don't care about the whole spores versus tendrils debate. I really don't. It doesn't matter.
There's supposed to be spores that come out of the mouth?
They're supposed to...
They're airborne. It's airborne spores. It comes out of, like, I don't know, their body or something.
They're little hives or whatever. Like, you can go into a building infested with infected, and there's going to be, like, spores in the air, and so you'd have to wear a gas mask, or you die and get infected or whatever.
Maybe they'll incorporate that in the future.
Because I doubt it. I think the reason they didn't is because it's hard with the audio and gas masks, and you won't see the actors' faces. I feel like they wanted to be more free.
Tell the Mandalorian
that if they were to implement it, there would be spores everywhere, like even outside.
It's probably, it makes it higher budget. Yeah, that doesn't help the budget at all.
We're just throwing some Adobe stock photos in the back and call it a day.
The last thing I got to say on this before y'all can take it away is just that the acting was actually pretty dang good. You got a lot of good actors on there, and none of them really left me any doubt. Even Ellie, she got the mannerisms down
for the most part.
Bella Ramsey did. Obviously, she didn't get that much screen time, but
I never fucking played the game, so I didn't know what to expect from her. I thought she was just gonna be like a mildly sassy child that he needed to keep around for like emotional support. No, this bitch straight up went out the gate and just shanked someone. I was like, holy fuck, never mind.
And
She
she's
was
all
like-
cussing.
I made this, like, we were talking about it, like, separately, but I made this analogy. Like, she was like a chained up wolf whenever she was chained to the floor. She was just screaming, just yanking at him. I was like, what the fuck are you going to do with those chains, bitch? You're like 10 years old.
And then
You're
she
not
like
going to do anything.
she like said a fake name too.
Yeah.
You're like, that's not her name. I mean, obviously she said it for confidential reasons, but
She did it.
stuff
She
like
said
that.
the thing.
And it's funny too because there's a lot of emotional moments between the two that are going to happen.
A
So
lot.
there's going to be a lot of really good acting master classes we're going to see in the future.
I agree that she pulls off Ellie. She acts as Ellie really well, gets a lot of the mannerisms down. There are a little things that I notice here and there that just don't match her character in the game. And that combined with her looking nothing like her counterpart in the game, it kind of throws me off, but I don't know. I
Anthony's
think I'll
just a
get used
Bella
to it.
Ramsey denier.
I also agree. I think you are a Bella Ramsey denier because the acting was on point, dude.
At most of the time, there were a few scenes where
Give an example, bitch. Exactly,
Okay.
bitch.
no, there's one scene, and I send it to y'all, and it's just like a tiny little thing, but it's stuff that I notice just because I love Ellie's character. But when she was like, "Wow, I'm actually outside," like that portion threw me off because I don't know, she didn't. Ellie would have said it differently, or she did in the game.
Bro.
I didn't.
I'm
That,
just like, like I said, it's
such
little
bullshit.
It's little things, but combine those little things with the fact that she looks nothing like her.
Anthony,
It just
after
takes
reviewing movies with you for 2 years, I know damn well you do not pay that much detail. You just fucking
I do.
Googled,
I do
what's
for
the
this-
difference between Bella Ramsey and the video game?
for this show?
okay, to be fair to Anthony, this is one of the first times I've actually played this or played or read the source material before watching a show adaptation.
It's true.
So that's why, and some, especially with like a video game that's like probably my favorite story ever.
Right.
So we do pay attention. But I also disagree because this is also an adaptation. This is a different interpretation. Not like fully, but like they're going to deliver lines differently. You know, this is real life.
I know.
He
Like I
wants
said,
it word for word, bar for bar.
I'm gonna get used to it in the future. I'm just saying, like the
I
first
get
episode,
it, yeah.
I was a little disconnected from Ella's character.
Yeah,
Anthony
I get
just
that.
wants the voiceover from the original voice actor.
You just need time to get used to her,
Right.
basically. But so her even Tess did well. Gabriel Luna did really good as Tommy. I liked his character.
Yeah.
He's sick, dude.
And
I
then
liked
I don't
him.
like his character either, but he did really good.
yeah, and then Pedro Pascal. I think he killed it.
Yeah,
Like-
he did.
No one talks about Pedro Pascal's range. He has a lot of range,
But it could be better.
Did y'all know
but it could be better.
Marlene in the show is the same who played Marlene in the game.
Yeah, it's her voice actor, which
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool.
Did she
I-
voice act as the one girl in the Fallen Order?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
He sounded similar. So I was like,
Maybe. Who knows? She probably did. All else felt she did. But yeah, we've talked a lot of positives. You got any negatives?
Not really. I mean,
no, it was outstanding.
I think it was amazing.
That's so crazy to say. Like,
I think
there's been a lot of good video game adaptations lately, but it's just crazy that how good this was.
A lot? You mean we had Sonic and that was it?
And Detective Pikachu and Arcane and Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
Those don't count if they're animated, though.
cons about the show, but I think I am a little biased just because of my love for the games and because of how similar it was. So I definitely am biased in that way, but
No, it was just a good show, dude. Like, just straight up, it's a good show.
That's why I like that Edward hasn't played the game. Because
Right.
even if we think, oh, well, this is different from the game, we don't like this and other stuff like that, Edward can be like, no, actually, it's just a good show. Like, don't worry about the game. It's actually just a good show.
yeah.
Yeah, putas.
Bring us down to earth a little. But yeah, if that's it, that's it. It's a really good peek into this new world that we're gonna see moving forward and the journey that Ellie and Tess and Joel have.
I have an important question.
Mm-hmm.
Where does this take place in the Walking Dead timeline? Is it before Fear the Walking Dead or after?
It's before. And
Or is it concurrent?
Rick is supposed to show up in episode 5.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, apparently. That's what I read.
Is it just like a cameo?
No, I heard he's actually going to fight Joel. I don't know why, but they're going to fight, apparently.
Well, I guess that's when Joel dies, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, Rick has like 8 more seasons left in him.
so it ain't no way he's dying. He's got a 5-year contract.
One more little thing that it's not a pro or a con. I just forgot. I forgot that the show that their hometown was outside of Austin, and so there was a crossroads when they were leaving their house and they were trying to get out of the city. It was like Austin to the left and San Marcos to the right, and they turned right. I'm like, oh no!
You said no, wait, don't go over here, don't go over here.
Wait! No!
But I thought that was cool.
You saw your house?
I didn't know.
It was a pleasant
That's
surprise.
where Joel is actually. Is my house
Sick.
eaten by a human?
This is the baseline for video game adaptations. Like,
This is
I
the
mean, like I said,
baseline. This is the outlier.
I was gonna say, I feel like there's been a lot of good ones lately. I was just gonna say, like, baseline for live action, like for the new God of War show that's coming out, for like Horizon Zero Dawn, like stuff like that. It better be this good. Like, this is the base for adaptations, live action ones at least.
It's a crazy base to set it at, dude.
We got
You
high
can't have a 10 out of
expectations.
10 and be like, all right, everything has to be fucking
Perfect.
Okay, you say that, but it's not like they're starting from scratch. Like, they have the material.
Yeah.
It's not like it's easy adapting it either.
God of War is gonna be.
It's not. That's fair.
Though. Like, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, that's for
God of War
another
seems
video.
like a tall task to cram into one series.
That's why it's a series and not a movie. But it's gonna be
Needs-
nutty.
I hope they don't try to do like the whole first game in one season.
I don't either.
You
It's
could break
easier
it
with
up
this,
into like
it's really
3
linear.
seasons and call it a day, honestly.
That's why I was telling you, Edward. Literally, they could do scene for scene with this show, and it'd be perfect. That's how good the story is. And I'm glad that they're not doing necessarily scene for scene, but they're pulling a lot from it. Which is also sad because that means I know it's going to happen, and there's some parts that I'm like, oh man, oh no.
Because the second game makes a full circle. It like makes everything in the first game. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. It just like it connects it all. Like it just enhances the first game. If that makes sense.
Listen though, if they do,
It's New Game Plus.
Edward, if they do the second season fully, the second game fully as the second season, which I actually heard they're going to split it up into 2 seasons, which would help because it's a really long game, the second game. But that game is very, 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 very dark and very depressing, and the themes are just very heavy. Like that's like
Hatred and
revenge, and it's hard. It's hard to replay that. I can replay the first game like a lot, like anytime I want. The second game is very hard for me to replay because it's very heavy.
Meh.
And I've even heard a lot of stuff about people's like mental health after the game. Like they were like, it's very depressing.
Sounds mid to me. That's why I'm never playing the games.
I guess we'll find out. All right, that's all I got. What about y'all?
We're gonna have to do a before Edward plays the game and after Edward plays the game review.
Well, you got a gaming channel if you want to plug it. So
You're right. At Ruga Beta.
10 out of 10.
we'll do again. I actually do give it a 10 too. I'm not gonna be too picky.
I'd give it a 10 as well.
Just 'cause how
I
good it
couldn't
was.
imagine like a better way to start. I was telling before the recording, it felt like I watched 30 minutes of it and it was over. It did not feel like a full hour and a half.
It's really short, but in a good way.
I'm kind of glad it felt like that for y'all too. I assumed it felt like that for me because I kind of knew it was gonna happen already.
No, it felt short, but I think the reason for that is because like that first like news scene was like 5-6 minutes, and then you had like 20 minutes with the daughter, and then the actual show kind of started, and you only had like maybe like 45 minutes of the actual show before it was over, and I think that's why.
What was funny, I actually read that once the daughter died, everyone thought that was the end of the episode, and then they were like, "What do you mean 20 years later?" Like they were all like confused because they were still sad. But
TBH, I would have enjoyed seeing that exploring that 20-year time gap, but you know.
That's why I said it would be cool if they did a spinoff of like the first 20 years of the outbreak. I think that would be cool, but like Noah said, it would be easy to mess it up because they don't have that source material to pull from.
they also
I think it
came
would be
out
easy to mess it up, but I think the reason they didn't and the reason that they wouldn't is because it would feel too much like The Walking Dead.
That's fair, yeah. Taking a long time to build up to the actual
And The Walking
main story.
Dead did it really, really well, like to start out with. So I think it would be hard to kind of compete with that.
That's true.
Like the first 2 seasons of The Walking Dead are goated.
They're like perfection, perfect TV at the time. But also they did come out and say that they're really not going to make anything other than adaptations for the game. Like they're not going to do any spin-offs.
Maybe they're breaking The Last of Us 2 into 2 seasons. That way they buy enough time for the third game to come out.
That's what I was thinking, but the second game took like 10 years, so.
Shows take a while. 2 seasons
That
of
is
a
fair.
show, you could easily buy 10 years.
5 years per season, holy crap. It has been 3 years already, so, you know,
Bitch.
pretty close. And plus, I think they'll get it out faster than they did the first game, or the second game. But who knows
All right.
at this point.
Anyway,
All right, guys. Goodbye.
I think that wraps it up. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out all those beautiful links underneath to our full feature-length podcast done weekly. Should check out all our socials so you can keep up to date with whatever special events we got going on. Like here coming soon, we do have our annual Hooli Awards coming back for the second time. And, keep hype for that. And, on that note, you guys have a great day. And say hi to your moms for us.